Are we ready for another RTI? Then let's do it. Okay, so we're going to take our pencil, eraser, and our paper, and the first shape we're going to start off with is an oval. So make an oval, and it's going to be horizontal. Okay. You need to pause after each section. You can go ahead and pause it to catch up. Okay. The next step is we are putting a trapezoid on top of the oval. After that, we are putting two triangles. You can pause it if you need to catch up here. Two triangles coming off of the trapezoid and connecting to the oval. One here and one there. Notice how the one on the left is much bigger than the one on the right. Okay, next step is you're going to put a skinnier trapezoid on top of the bigger trapezoid. Then you're going to put a skinnier trapezoid and taller trapezoid under the oval. Now you're going to put a rounded rectangle on top of the trapezoid. That's the head. And sticking off of this rectangle, we're going to put a diagonal oval. And hanging off the back side, we are going to put a rounded triangle. Sticking off of the trapezoid, the skinny trapezoid on the bottom, we're going to put a semi-oval. Actually, it's going to be like a quarter oval on both sides. Those are the feet. You can put a line that separates the legs right down the middle of the trapezoid. Okay, we seem to have the entire body shape blocked in with our shapes, so we're going to take our eraser and we are going to erase the lines that are connecting the toes to the legs. Then we're going to take the line that's separating the stomach from the chest, erasing that. We're taking the line that's separating the shoulder from the chest and erasing part of that. We're going to go ahead and erase the face that's going through the nose and part of the nose, about halfway up, as well as a line going through the neck. Alright, that should be good. Now we're going to start adding more detail. So we're going to go ahead and continue this shape on the outside here. It's going to be a rounded line that comes up towards the forehead and closes it off. Kind of looks like a pear. The shape kind of looks like a pear. And I don't mind leaving that line right there because this is going to be a black shape anyway, so that doesn't really matter. So here we're going to draw a nose on the very tip of the oval and a line coming down for the lip. Now the lip comes down and it shoots back up into a smile. And then we're going to put a little line crossing over the top of the smile. You pause it and catch up if you need to. The eyes are going to be like a number 8. We're going to put an oval for one eye. Nice big one. And then the second oval is going to go behind the head. So, or behind the nose, I should say. Just like that. It's going to have a line right in between the eyes on the top. And two angled eyebrows that are nice and thick. So those are going to be like rectangles. more like parallelograms. And those are also going to be black. Okay, now we're going to put a small little angle to the front of his forehead. So we're going to add a small rounded triangle for his forehead with a couple of hairs sticking off the very top. Take your eraser and get rid of the line that's going through his head. For his eyes, we're going to put 2 dots, one on the inside, the other on the inside, and these are going to be black. I'm going to leave a small dot for reflective light. His nose is also going to be black. His eyebrows are black, his hair is black. Over his shoulder, we're going to put an oval coming in towards his neck and sticking out. And on the other side, we're going to put another oval, but it's going to be more like a yin-yang symbol. Remember how we did the yin-yang during the value drawings? So we're just going to put like a little yin-yang or a teardrop on the other side. Okay, now we can go ahead and erase the work that's going through the oval and the work that's going through the yin-yang. Now come to think of it, the yin-yang, apologies, has to touch the oval. So I have to bring the yin-yang in further towards his neck, and I have to bring the oval in further towards the neck because they have to touch. Sorry about that. Okay, under the arm, we're going to put a V for the pit. Okay, for the forearm, we're going to make a line come back and up like a letter Y, backwards letter Y. So this ends up being the underarm, this ends up being the elbow pit. And then we're going to put a line going across the wrist. Using our eraser, we're going to erase the body that's going through the forearm. And then we're going to have an oval sticking out of the shirt. And then sticking out of that oval, we're going to put 1, 2, 3 ovals sticking out of the wrist or the palm. Erase the lines that are connecting the fingers to the palm. Just like that. And then out of his stomach area, we're going to put 1 oval, 2 oval, 3 ovals, because his hands are on his hips. On this arm, we're going to make a line coming back. Did you guys move the cars back into the, what's it called, the garage? Oh, but there's no mail today, yeah? Okay. For his tummy, we're going to put a rounded U shape that goes a little bit lower than the oval we first drew. And then we're going to darken the line on the bottom of the oval. So now we have the stomach. Alright, for the boots have a curved line coming up on both sides. And for the final touch, we put a rectangle in the middle. Don't close the top though. It's going to be a tall rectangle, like a cup of water. And then we're going to put a line going out from the cup. And when it comes down, it's going to come around like a horseshoe. And there we have our first picture, all done. And this character is called Underdog. I'm going to ink it and then I'm going to color it. So as I'm finishing up the coloring here, I noticed there's something missing from the picture, and that's the remainder of his cape. So we'll have to finish up the cape. Sorry about that. So this line is going to come out from right below the right side of his tummy. It's going to be a curved line that comes out past his feet, and then at the end of it we're going to have this rounded ovular line, and that's his cape there. It does have one line that comes through for a crease, and on the other side, out from under his hand, we have another angular curved line that goes into a triangle, and then it goes into a rounded line that comes back to the feet. And this one also has a line coming down on the side, which is another crease. Okay, so the cape should come down just like that. And using my pen, I'm just going to ink in these lines. Okay, this is our medium drawing. This one's a little bit more involved. So this drawing, we are going to start off with a nice, rounded square. In the center of our paper. Above that rounded square, we're going to put a circle that sits right atop the square. We're going to put an oval going through the bottom of the circle. It's going to be slightly off to the side. Then we're going to put a smooth or a rounded triangle coming out of the upper part of this square. Put a nice rounded triangle coming out and back into the square. Then we're going to put another triangle that's coming out of this square, coming up at an angle and back down towards the oval. On the bottom of this square here, we're going to put a circle, a tiny circle, just like that. Coming off of the circle, we're going to have a triangle sticking out of the circle. It looks like a Dorito chip. Then we're going to have an oval. With one more oval on the bottom of that. And then we're going to put another oval right behind the circle, going to the bottom where the triangle is. On the top of this triangle, we're going to put a circle. And on the inside of this triangle here, we're going to put another circle. And then from the circle, we're going to come back with a line. Just like that. Okay, from underneath the elbow, which is this triangle shape here, we're going to put a rectangular shape coming down, and then we're going to draw a wavy line coming from the rectangle here, going into the circle, just like that. Coming out from the side of the circle here, we're going to put a shark fin coming back up to the square, like that. And then on the outside of the shark fin, we're going to put another line coming down and connecting to the tip. Alright, so now we're going to take our eraser. We're going to erase the line that's separating the oval from the circle. Like that. We're going to erase the line that's connecting the circle to the square. And then the triangle to the circle. As well as the oval overlapping the triangle, or should I say the triangle should be overlapping the oval. Okay, so we have the silhouette, basic silhouette of our figure. Oh, I'm going to erase one more line, and that's the upper chest area. And that line that's separating the wrist from the hand. Alright, so now we have the the outline, all the shapes put together to create the form, or the outline of the form. So now we can add some details. We're going to start up here where the hand is, and we're going to draw an oval for the thumb. And then these are the fingers. So we're going to have one finger, two fingers, and these are drawn with curved lines. And then the last finger, the pinky, is going to be curled up into a little jelly bean like shape, but you're not going to close it. You can keep it open. Okay, and on the top of the fist we're going to put a few bumps, and that's going to represent the knuckles. And right under the thumb we're going to put a bump. I'm going to put in another bump, because that's going to be this part here that folds up. So that's the palm. And right underneath that we're going to put a rounded line for the end of the shirt sleeve, because this is the arm. We're just going to add some lines that look like they curve into an arm. So that is the first arm. Erase those lines that I don't need. Okay, we can do this hand over here. So we have the wrist here, and we have that sleeve. So we're going to draw that rounded line going around the wrist. And then we have the palm that comes up into a curve. And then we have a little bump, and that represents the pinky. Then we have another bump. That's the middle finger. And we have one last bump to make the pointer finger. And that's going to come back and down to create the rest of the hand. Go ahead and erase those excess lines. Okay, so the face, we have this big rounded line. We're going to copy that again on the inside. And then we're going to put a little bump towards the neck. And then the shoulder is going to block the rest of it. So that is the ear. On the very top of the head, we have the rounded back part of the head. We're going to have a little M that comes down and up again before it comes to the front of the face. Just like that. Alright, so now this is going to be kind of a hard part, but from the cheek area here, we are going to draw the cheek coming around by where the ear is, and it's going to cut back towards the eyes. And then that's going to come up to form the eyes, and then down again. And now we're going to kind of form it to this top part, which are the eyebrows. Comes up and then back down to the front of the face. On the bottom of the chin area, it's going to come up at an angle slightly, and then towards the nose. The nose is going to cut across the middle of the face, and it's going to be rounded. And then the first eye here is going to be a small oval that's hidden slightly behind the nose. And then we have the eye looking to the left. And then here by the second eye, by the cheek, the left cheek, we're just going to put a rounded cheek line, and we're going to put another oval that represents that cheek, that eyeball over the cheek. And above that eyeball, we're going to put a small curved line for the eyebrow. And then we're going to put 3 lines coming out of the top of the oval for the eyelashes. And then we're going to put another iris. Right below the cheek, we're going to put a smile. That's going to come down towards the bottom of the mouth. And that's going to connect with another line there, curved line. You're going to have a tongue inside. And then across the top, we're going to put a line for the teeth. The nose is going to be an oval. Then it has a small lip under the mouth. Just like that. Now over the shoulder and under the jaw, we're going to have a line that pretty much copies that same kind of contour. And that's going to be the cape that goes over the shoulder. Okay, so this line here that's going across the arm, we can delete that by erasing it. And then we have a little line going up into the underarm. And this square part is going to smooth transition from the square down to the circle with a line. This is coming down to the waist. Just like that. And then at the waist, we are going to put a line cutting across for his belt. So that's 2 lines. In the middle of his belt, he's going to have a rectangle. And then this is going to be his super skivvies. Just like that. Alright, so this back leg is coming out and down. And then connected to that is the feet. So that's pretty much straightforward because it was already pretty much drawn inside the shapes, just like the cape. You can darken those lines if you'd like to. This is going to be the interesting part because this is actually his leg bended. So, bent, I should say, not bended, bent. So this back part here where the butt is, we're just going to go ahead and draw a curved line in, bending towards the knee, like that. And then his leg is kicking back. And then right out of his leg is the oval for the foot. Alright, and this character's name is Mighty Mouse. So now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to check first, make sure I have all the details down. Oh, no, I'm missing one thing. Forgot the tail, so I'm going to make a squiggly line coming out of the foot. And I'm going to put that same squiggly line on the outside, making it look like a nice thick tail. And it is flying behind Mighty Mouse. Okay? And so that is the end of that. Now I am going to go ahead and ink it and color it. Okay, so today's final drawing is going to be the harder one, and we are going to practice that those shapes that we did when we worked on figure from last week. And it's going to be oval for the head, square for the chest, and then it's going to be circle for the hips. And the spine is going to run like a swoop. So this is how we're starting. The shoulders, I'm going to put circles for the shoulders to tell me where they are. And I'm going to put circles for the hips to tell me where they're supposed to be. So you notice how I have one circle on the inside, another one on the inside. That just means that the hips have shifted slightly. So the leg will be coming out more towards us rather than more towards the side of the figure. So once you have this oval, square, and circle, this is the basic torso. We're going to add the limbs, which are the arms and the legs. So we have the upper arm on both sides, and then we'll put a circle for the elbows, and then this forearm is shooting upwards, and then there's the hand on the very top, and then this forearm is shooting downwards, and then there's the wrist for the hand on the bottom. Then we have one leg shooting out down with a knee, then it extends forward, or should I say downward, for the shin, and then that's where the ankle is. And then the second leg is going to be angled upward toward the elbow, where the knee is going to be, and then finally the leg is going to come back towards the hips, where the feet are going to go. So this is going to be a very dynamic pose for this character. Once you guys have all of these, all of the skeleton, this stick figure finished, we can start adding the flesh onto the body, which is, if you guys don't remember, ovals. So starting from the elbow, we're going to connect the big oval to the shoulder. And then from the elbow to the wrist, I'm going to have another one on the opposite side from the shoulder to the elbow. And if you are noticing my ovals, they're pretty thick. Okay, elbow to the wrist, nice big ovular shape. Alright, let's go to the first leg. First leg is going to come around the oval and go to the knee. Just like that. And then from the knee to the ankle. Just like that. And then on the other side, we're going to go ahead and put another big oval. The oval is so big that it's covering up the line for the lower leg. So we're going to just draw a very hidden oval for the bottom part of the leg, just like that. This is a massive character, so we want to make the ovals huge. Alright, so now we're going to do the connections of the torso. So for the neck is extremely large, so it's going to come down from the side of the head down into the shoulder, and then the neck is going to come down on the other side and into the shoulder. Okay, and then for the chest area, from the upper right hand corner of the circle to the upper right hand corner of the square, we're going to draw a curved line, and this curved line is going to be the chest and the stomach. So I'm going to draw another line coming up the middle of the chest and the stomach to tell me that this is the separation between the midway of the left and right chest. Right? So this back part of the circle here is going to be his butt, and then it's going to come in at the waist and up to the square, and when we get to the edge of the square on the bottom left, we're going to draw a big curved line for a muscle that connects under the arm, just like that. We're going to extend the jaw out further than it's supposed to be, and then the head is going to come to a point at the top. So he has this huge jaw and this pointy head on the very top. The calves, at the top of the calves, they're going to be rather thick, so you need to add a little bit more curvature to the top of the calves. And then finally we can draw the foot. The foot, we're looking at the top. The foot is bent down this way, so you're not looking at it this way or that way. You're actually looking at it from the top. So we're going to go ahead and draw a trapezoid coming out of the ankle. And on the tip of the trapezoid, we're going to put a triangle. So that's our foot from the top. This one is more towards the side here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do more of the traditional triangle. But his foot is dangling down again. It's kind of like, it's not straight, it's not at us, it's kind of dangling down so you can see his toes hanging. So what we are going to do is we're going to put a small parallelogram connected to the foot, like that. And those are just the toes hanging down. The right side, where the hand is, we're going to put an oval. And on the other side, we're going to put a square. Alright, so now that we have the general idea of the form, take our eraser, and now we can get rid of the skeleton, and we connect all of our lines together to create one form. So now that we have all the eraser marks off, we can add our details. Okay, so coming back to the fingers over here, we are going to draw a thumb line on the inside of the square. And we're going to connect the square to the wrist. And on the top of the square, we're going to have one finger. And then we're going to put a couple of curved lines for the knuckle. And that's the end of that hand. Now the wrist is going to come up slightly into the oval. And then once it goes slightly into the oval, you can see where that line is, we're going to have the oval pop out slightly more to add more girth to the forearm. Looks kind of like Popeye now. So both sides is going to get a little bit wider. And then on the back of the elbow, we're going to put a small bone, like a square, sticking out there. Arm comes up. We're going to put a small bump behind the arm, and that's going to be the tricep. Then on the front of the arm, we're going to put a bigger bump going towards the underpit, which is going to be the bicep. And then from here, we can erase our original ovular lines that we don't need anymore. And then we can finally put the shoulders. The shoulders are going to be much thicker. So building upon this oval, we'll just put a line coming down into the arm, creating a more squared shoulder. And then finally the bicep curves into the underarm where it's met by the chest, and the chest is just a curved line going towards the center of the body, like that. Then we have a little upside down V where the chest comes together to the other one, the pectoral muscles. And then we have a boosted bump on the chest on this side, so I'm just going to kind of add a little bit more curvature to the chest rather than making it flat. That's going to enhance that chest, that side of the chest there. And then the neck here, from the neck, we're just going to put that bump for the shoulder a little bit larger. Just like the bicep, we're going to make the bicep much larger. So we're going to have a curve on top of that oval. The back of the arm can be a little bit wider. And then when you get to the elbow, we're going to put that square again. And then for the forearm, we're just going to pop out the muscular part of the forearm, and then as it goes towards the wrist, it gets skinnier, just like that. Okay, for the hand, we have a thumb, and then we have fingers that are spread across the top, the pointer, we have the middle, and we have the ring, and then we finally have the pinky, and then the wrist comes back, and it's connected with the palm, just like that. We're going to put a line going through the bicep, just a little crease there. Under the arm, we're just going to put a curved line right there. And then we're going to put a few small ones on the ribs. Curved lines. These are the rib muscles by the abdominals. Okay. And then for the stomach, the rib cage actually comes from the center where the chest is. It's going to curve down slightly. And we're going to use this curved line coming down for the abdominal muscles. And the abdominal muscles are where they got the six-pack. Six-pack, four-pack, eight-pack, whatever. accentuate those lines for the stomach muscles, the abdominal muscles. Then I'm going to erase that line that was separating the middle of my body, except for along where the center of the chest is, because that usually has a line there. Okay, then we'll pop the glutes back, which is the butt, and from inside of the hip we'll just put a small line, and then we're going to cut off part of the hip with a line coming down, and then from here we're going to just outline our thighs a little darker. We're not going to change too much about the thighs because he has slender legs. This character has slender legs that are long. A very tall character, very muscular upper body, very slender, lean lower body. And then we're going to draw the line coming up from the hip on this side, going up almost to the very top where the knee is. And then we're going to put a small line at the top like a smile. We're going to accentuate that line on the outside there. And then we're going to put a small square at the very top for the knee and bring the line back so we can erase the simple shape that we had before for the leg. We could do the same here on top of this part of the arm. Erase those lines that are standing out. Okay, and then right here by the ankle we can put a little U line for the foot that can come back up to the ankle. Same here on this leg, we can put a little bump sticking out of each side of the foot, upper part of the ankle, to make it look like you have ankles, the bones sticking out for the ankles. And then we're just going to go ahead and smooth out the lines for the foot. And then finally we're going to do the face, the details on the face. So this guy's a really big jaw, and his jaw has a cleft. So a cleft is that little crease in the middle of the chin area. So I'm just going to go ahead and bring that line in, and notice the way we started our face off, it was an oval, and we are adjusting it for whatever the character looks like. So we can still make adjustments. We don't have to stay stuck with the oval that we started with. That's just a generic beginning. From there you kind of adjust it to whatever the figure looks like. Okay. So this guy has a misproportioned head. He doesn't have his eyes in the middle of his face. His eyes are more towards the top of his forehead, where I tell you not to draw eyes. So if you go towards the top of his forehead and you draw a big square-like shape on the top of his head, that's one of his eyes. And then if you separate it with another smaller square-like shape, that's his other eye. So one eye is bigger than the other, and it's at the very, very top of his head. He has a line coming down both sides where his cheeks should be, and his nose is underneath his mask. The open part where his mouth is comes in slightly, and then it juts out again towards the jaw, like that. Then you can see a little bit of the side of the jaw, and it comes back up to where the chin is, kind of like a chin guard. And inside this shape we're going to put a very similar shape. So we'll put a smile, and then we'll come down slightly, and then we'll put a line right across. That's his top teeth. His bottom teeth shoot out just like his jaw shoots out, and it's much larger, and it cuts across right before his chin guard. So those are his upper teeth, or his lower teeth. His upper teeth are way smaller than his lower teeth. And on the very top of his head, we're going to put rhombuses that are connected by the edges. on both sides of his head. And then you're going to have finally a fuzzy one at the very end of those rhombuses. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 rhombuses on the left side and 6 on the other side. It's not that big a deal, as long as you have the idea. Alright, and so that's it for this character. His name is the Tick. Okay, so now I'm going to outline him and I'm going to color him in. Okay, so that's it for today's RTI, our special RTI, since it is a holiday. I hope you guys had fun. I'll see you again next time. Don't forget to stick around this week, alright? We're getting into animation, so yeah, have fun. I hope you guys please enjoy and watch these videos and learn how to do some animation, because it's a lot of fun. Alright, take care. See you next time.